This week's workout is a 10-minute AMRAP, climb the ladder style. Starts with 100-meter rowing, then 10 box jumps, 200-meter rowing, 20 box jumps, 300 meters rowing, 30 box jumps, and keep climbing until you hit that 10-minute cap.
Training Think Tank Throwdown 30! Hey, welcome to Throwdown. My name's Brandon Dorman.
I'm 𝗪𝐀𝐑𝐌.
I'm 𝗪𝐻𝐑𝐌.
We all train hard for the... Gosh,
You got one word in.
That's so
Just
hard.
read it. Just read it. Keep it going.
They didn't give me time to memorize this.
You had 2 weeks, man.
We all train hard to develop the strength, the endurance, and the skills of the sport, but we also need to make sure that we're dealing with the pressures of competing on game day, so that's why we do these Throwdown workouts for all of you.
We do the workout a week ahead of time. We give you a demo, strategy, tips, and scores so that you can improve that skill.
This week's demo is me
Woo!
and not Max.
Good luck. I didn't realize how big the camera frame is. I was like, oh, Chris is pointing this. Oh, you started. All right, go ahead.
All right, 100 meters. Brandon, what'd you think so far?
This is great rowing technique. Now, I'm like looking intently at that. That's very, very, very well done. What you said 155 beforehand, then you kind of started at 150, kind of slowed it down.
Yeah, I thought that holding my 2K pace, which is about a 155, would be good. That didn't hold out the whole way. Just a little bit of like backstory here. I did this workout by myself. The on-site group did it over the weekend. Sometimes I fail box jumps.
That was your only no rep of all the box jumps, so I think you actually did pretty well there.
Thanks. I wanted to see what it would be like to jump up the whole workout because a lot of the on-site athletes stepped up the whole way, and this year with the Open they gave us the 2 options, so I thought it would be a cool point of comparison. I also thought it would be really cool if there was someone stepping up next to me, and I invited Max to do that, but he didn't want to sacrifice his training to help you guys get better at the sport.
Or was it that he didn't want to lose to you on camera?
Well, I don't know if he would.
These people call me friends. They're supposed to be my friends.
But anyways.
So you went from 150 on the first 100. Now you're at the 200 meters. You're doing 155. Is that the goal for the rest of this?
That's what I wanted to hold through all of it. You can see I'm already kind of falling off of that.
Do you practice your footwork of the rebound in terms of like how you get your foot back and how you jump off, or do you just kind of rely on instinct at that point? Have you ever practiced it? Because you have that little like shuffle foot step back.
I shift back. I've tried jumping with less of my foot on the box, but that kind of sketches me out. I think just getting comfortable, maybe jumping back a little bit further. Most of the box jump practice that I've done recently has been like over the box, so I think with this coming back into the Open this year and this Throwdown workout, it definitely to me showed how little experience I've had recently on this movement.
Yeah, so I want to time like, all right, so feet hit at 52 on our little clock. That was 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 box jumps takes about 10 seconds at this pace, and then we'll do it again in the round of 40 just to see, because she's still rebounding at that point, but still there's like a slower rhythm, a slower cadence. So you have to be mindful of the fact that like rebounding is faster than stepping up. But when we go through the scores, if you're rebounding and you're not super disciplined about how fast you're getting on and off the box, or off the box really, because you're going back up fast, then you can actually be slower than step ups, which Mia wanted to illustrate by me dominating her in this workout while she was doing step-ups, but I decided to stick to the design training program because I'm disciplined and I'm trying to make sure that I'm following and adhering to the program that I'm writing, so I'm not a full hypocrite.
Are we teaching them anything? It's just a battle between Matt and Mia today.
All right, and you're a little bit slower here on the row,
Yeah.
so what's going on?
My legs were already really heavy at this point, so that's another thing to consider, what kind of fatigue you would get jumping versus stepping up. For me, I'm pretty tall, so step-ups are not that difficult for me. If I were to redo this workout, I would 1,000% step up probably every rep aside from the set of 10. And I think I probably could have been able to keep a faster row pace. But
yeah, I think you got to think about both of those things, right?
Yeah.
Like how fast are my box jumps going to be? I think to get through the 500 meter row and the 50, you have to average less than, or basically right at 2 seconds of box jump. Most people aren't going to be able to do that unless they rebound or are really fast at stepping up. But then the other thing is at what cost does that come to the row? So if you're doing rebounding box jumps, but then you start rowing at 10 or 15 seconds slower than where your goal pace was, then you're obviously slowing down way too much there. So for me, I would definitely step up, and I think someone like you, Mia, you mentioned, I mean, the 20-inch box is like so low for you that you could probably keep a 2 second or a 2.1, 2.2 second per rep by stepping up.
Yeah. The other thing so having the repeat plyometric ability, I think, is just a good skill to have.
For
so
sure.
no matter what, I do think every once in a while it makes sense to do rebounding box jumps, even if you can't do it at the prescribed height. We have like the mini boxes, and sometimes I'll do like sets of 50 or sets of 100 going lateral and forward, because it translates into
You do
just
100 box jumps?
at 12 inches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It translates into just building like the endurance and the plyometric capabilities for running, double unders, and just like structural strength that you won't get if you're always doing a slow step up. So I think having the strategy of rebounding, having the strategy of step up and then jump down right into your next step, and have the strategy of step up, step down, and jump up, step down. So I think having all of those is beneficial for just developing fitness. But then when you get into a competitive setting like this, then you just got to kind of
What's your
figure out
fastest way to do it? Yeah.
what allows you in the movement standards to get the best score possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth training all of them for the reasons that you said, but then also just like the standards in the open or in a qualifier may be different. So they may say you cannot step up, you cannot step down, or whatever it may be. So having the ability to do all of those things matters.
Is this the...
This is around a 400,
Yeah, 400.
400 row,
Okay.
yeah. So you're a little bit slower, well, a lot
lot
of bit
slower,
slower. 10
yeah.
seconds per 500 slower.
Yeah.
So probably 8 total seconds slower. You also got up to working pace a little bit slower, and people need to take that into consideration. I know, like I did intervals yesterday on the row, and by the time I got into like later sets of the intervals, I was taking like 6 pulls before I was at my working pace versus 3 in the beginning, and you don't realize how much time is wasted by doing that.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of it's just like you're tired, but just something to be mindful of, that if you can get to your working pace, the quicker you can do it, the better for accumulating cals and meters.
Yeah, Kyle Ruth actually has talked about this a lot, and especially in the open workouts, it's like the amount of pulls it takes you to get to your working pace when there are a lot of transitions with this. There's 9, you're going back to the rower 5 times. Getting there, pulling, starting to that, or getting to your working pace quickly matters, because if it's 6 pulls for you every single time over the course of 5 transitions back to the rower, that's a lot of extra time wasted.
3 is a good model that I tell people.
Right.
If you could be at your working pace in 3 pulls, that's what you should basically strive for.
For sure.
Going any faster than that's really hard to do,
Yeah.
because you're basically like max effort pulling to get it started. But 3 is generally like a good combination of sustainability and power output.
You want to retime box jump?
Yeah, sure. I'll wait until you're a little like into the middle of the set, because you're a little bit more tired.
I've noticed here I'm shifting both my feet back now, so
Yeah.
it's even
I
a
was
little bit
actually
slower.
counting at this point. I was counting on my hand too, just to make sure I didn't mess
So
up.
to me, this was where you were slower. Your rebound off the ground never really changed, but your shift on the top of the box maybe was a quarter of a second slower, but over the course of 40 reps, that's a lot of time.
Right.
Max is counting right now, if you guys are wondering. That's
All
why
right,
we're
so
not
that's
talking.
12 seconds for 5. So 2 seconds over every 5. So over the course of 40, that's 4 times 4, 16 seconds.
Adam,
16
Adam, we
seconds.
need you.
Need an engineer. 16 seconds over 40 reps, which is a lot, and that's 20% less power output. And a lot of it too is just like this little shuffle. In the beginning, she was jumping up, landing on her forefoot, extending the hip, jumping down, going up. Now it's almost landing on like midfoot, then backing both feet up and going down. There
I'm
was
also
a
landing lower,
lower.
Yeah.
like not as
Oh,
right
In
yeah,
a
at
deeper,
the
like
top.
yeah,
a hinge
yeah.
and squat position, yeah.
Yeah.
Mia, was it more, just for the people that are watching that are going to do this, did you feel it was just more leg fatigue or breathing at this point?
leg fatigue, and it wasn't even so much the box jumps, it was coming
Back
back
to the row.
onto the rower that I felt it. So I don't know if I do think that stepping up would help that and help me be able to pull a little bit faster on the rower. and get those 3 pulls.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
4. I
Four.
counted 5.
So this is your last row. You did a
Yeah.
much better job getting on, and you did a great job hanging on. You'll see here at the last little kick that Mia has is excellent.
But just to clarify, it was 5 pulls. Before this video, Mia said she was gonna make fun of me, so I came ready for combat.
Max went on the attack.
I came ready for combat.
They don't feel bad for you. I'm helping them. You're not. Look at you. You're just standing there.
Yeah, making weird faces and stretching my shoulders. Don't look at me.
So right now I have what, like maybe 30, 40 seconds left on the clock,
Yep.
Yeah.
and it just hurts.
Yeah.
Ending on the rower always is fun.
Yeah, little strategies like you can potentially speed up your stroke per minute pace if your legs are gassed and you need to try to find alternative ways to get it going faster. I don't know what your normal cadence is, but you definitely picked it up from like 30 to 34, 33 here. Yeah, this little sprint finish makes a big difference. Eyes closed,
Yeah.
rip it and rip it.
Great kick here at the end,
I
and
think
that
time
kick
goes
matters.
faster when your eyes are closed, but I think it goes slower.
No, yeah, when you
actually.
look back up, you're like, wait, that was only 2 seconds.
All right, so the rule here, well, we'll cover this in movement standards, right?
Yep.
All right, Mia, you did a great job. You're so fit.
Congratulations,
I don't know
Mia.
about that, but I hope this helped you guys make
so
decisions.
helpful.
Yeah.
He is so helpful.
Max is so unhelpful.
We have some on-site scores for all of you. Travis finished the 50 box jumps. We got 300. Adam was 271. Stefan was 254. On the female side, Ansley was 242. Shira got 242, so they tied for first. And then Mia at 239. Go beat those scores. All right, we wanted to give you movement standards. We're gonna start on the row. At the 3, 2, 1 call, you can then grab the handle, start your row. At the end of each round, you must reach the prescribed meters before you can let go of the handle. So for the round of 100 meters, she has to wait until 100 meters hits and then she can let go of the handle. Each round, you must reset your own rower, so when you get on, you'll reset it by yourself. You can start pulling at any time. You don't have to have both feet in the handle or both feet in the holsters. And then the last thing, for the last round, wherever you're at, if you're on the row, you cannot pull after the 10-minute cap, but wherever the rollover is your total score. So if she finishes on the 500-meter row, if she gets 396 like she got in this workout, that's her total score. If you pull after and your judge deems it's after the time cap, then you get a 20-meter penalty for that round. For the box jump, we're using the 2020 open standard, so Mia's going to have to jump up and come to full extension on the box, or you're allowed to step up and step down on the box. You cannot use the side, however, you have to, or the corner, I should say, you have to use the full side of the box. That would be a no rep. We wanted to show you some movement variations, so we're gonna start on the box. The first one that you saw in the demo is Mia bounding each rep. This is for those that are really efficient and probably can go under 2 seconds per rep. One thing that you can think about here is your footwork on top of the box, so making sure that you're not going all over the place. Try to have the same slide back like you noticed Mia have, or as soon as you land, you're coming to extension, then jumping right off the box. The next one that's probably gonna be the most common is just stepping up and stepping down. For someone that's tall and the box is relatively short compared to, like for Mia, the box is short for her, you can step up pretty fast, step down pretty fast, and probably keep close to 2 seconds per rep. The next one is jumping up and stepping down. This may work for those that have some ankle issues or knee issues that can't jump down and handle the eccentric loading. And then the last one's going to be, I totally forgot it. Aha! And I remembered the last one, you're going to step up and then jump down. This works for those that have good bounding mechanics but don't want to get a high respiratory fatigue as they go through the workout. So one strategy that you have when you're getting onto the rower is to obviously quickly reset the rower each round, but then get 1 foot in and start pulling as quickly as possible. So you'll notice Mia gets 1 foot in, she starts pulling, and then she gets her other foot in. There is no standard for having both feet in on this workout, so this is one option that you'll have. Let's break this workout down!
For the row, make sure you're getting in quickly. Keep yourself accountable to that. You can lose a lot of time sticking your feet in slowly or like adjusting the strap. So have them fairly loose, get your feet in and out quickly.
1 foot in, one pull, second foot in, next pull, then hopefully that third pull is at your working pace.
That's the big thing, is get to your working pace as quickly as possible without blowing up. Like, don't create a ton of tension where you're ripping it and then you're already blown up after a couple of pulls.
Yeah, I think that a lot of time can be wasted too that people don't think about, and maybe we didn't mention during the demo, is people get both feet in and then start pulling, and that just getting both feet in, tightening the straps, that could end up taking 5-6 seconds right there. So figuring out a strategy to get into the rower, probably just as important as getting to your working pace.
For sure. And then with the box jumps, there's really a couple options that most people have. For those that are really good at rebounding and it doesn't create a ton of respiratory or local fatigue, they could probably rebound the whole time. But I think you have to be like under 2 seconds per rep, and it doesn't affect your row to do that.
Yeah.
For most of us, probably want to step up, where the other option would be step up half of them really quickly and then rebound the other half.
Yeah, I think just playing with the strategy and getting comfortable with it is most important. And unless you're watching this and you're like, I want to be an elite professional CrossFitter, you're probably not going to be able to maintain fast rebounding for 150 reps while maintaining fast rowing. So you'll probably end up losing time by trying to keep up with that. If you need to train that, do it in intervals outside of a competitive setting. And then now in this competitive setting, focus on whatever your strategy is that will help you keep the fastest sustainable cadence in the round of 40 and 50, which I think is where the workout's going to be one for almost everyone.
For sure. And I think the last thing is, if you get back to the 50 box jumps, that's 9 total transitions. You have to have some urgency there. You can't just kind of like walk over to the box, take a deep breath. If you want a good score on this, you have to get over and start your reps right away, even if that means that you're doing step ups to start and then you go to rebounding.
Good luck.
Good luck.
That was so passive. It was perfect. Oh, and I remembered the last one. Mia, you just got me so confused. Stepping up and jumping down. This would be somebody that can... That's why I said redo it all.
Be somebody that can... Be somebody that can...
So if you use that strategy, you're going to get a couple no reps, but everything will be good.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button, let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.